Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and a special episode of Did You Know, as we take a look at 10 of the best Did You Knows from the series with 10 things you might not know in WWE 2K19. Did you know it's possible to make all managers playable, including Zelina Vega and Drake Maverick? This one comes from the Direction Gaming, who reveals that despite certain managers such as Zelina Vega and Drake Maverick not being playable by default, this year as of version 1.01, it's now possible to create alternate attires for all managers and use them in matches, providing you turn off the option to save them as an alternate attire. To do this, simply head into Create a Superstar and choose the WWE Superstar option, then select the manager that you want to make playable. Next up, all you need to do is select the Personal Information tab and then set the User's Alternate Attire option to No. Upon doing this, you'll see this message notifying you that the first attire of your creation will now be saved as a superstar rather than a manager, which upon pressing yes and saving the changes, then your new playable manager will be available for selection in matches by going to Custom Creations.
This could end it in a hurry. So much force behind that powerbomb.
Did you know that Big Cass's render is still included in the game? This one comes from WWE Modern by M&H, who reveals the presence of Big Cass's Superstar render within the files for the PC game, despite the fact that he was released from WWE back in June. The render itself isn't actually updated, as it's the same one that was used in 2K18, however, as people who followed the news coverage on the channel will know, 2K came out and said that the renders would have been the last things to be updated. As for why the render remains, this is likely due to the fact that the decision to remove Cass came quite late into the development process, when 2K would have already had all of his files in place. Did you know that both Chris Jericho and Cesaro have unique reversals to the Hurricane Rana? This one is a really cool one, which comes from Desun and Clavia and AJ Mulatto, who reveal two unique finishers out of nowhere for the Swiss Superman Cesaro and the best in the world, Chris Jericho. These new finishes out of nowhere come when reversing the Hurricane Rana, as rather than use the default reversal animation that sees the move reversed into a sit-out powerbomb, should you reverse the move with Cesaro, then you'll see him perform this epic looking very European uppercut out of nowhere. Meanwhile, when it comes to Chris Jericho, should you reverse the move with him, then you'll instead see him counter the move into this epic looking codebreaker once again out of nowhere. Did you know it's possible to get on the apron in steel cage matches and perform additional moves? This one comes from XXNWOXX, who reveals that it's possible to throw your opponent onto the apron in steel cage matches, where it's then possible to perform additional moves such as an uppercut into the cage, a hangman against the ropes, and even a brogue kick. In order to do this, you'll first need the hammer throw ability, which will allow you to perform a strong Irish whip by holding circle on PlayStation or B on Xbox. However, don't stand too close to the cage wall when whipping your opponent, otherwise you'll end up seeing this animation of throwing them into the cage. Instead, make sure that you're standing more than halfway across the ring to the side that you want to whip them to, and then hold down the Irish whip button. Doing this will see you perform the strong Irish whip, however, instead of your opponent flying into the cage wall, they'll instead be thrown over the top rope, where they'll then land on the apron. Depending on your opponent's health, there are two animations that will take place, the first of which will see them go over the top rope before then rolling back into the ring, whilst the other one will see them use the ropes to pull themselves back to their feet while standing on the apron, allowing you to then perform any of the aforementioned moves, such as the brogue kick. All of these moves also come with their own reversal animations that see your opponent dodge the attack when using the brogue kick or the uppercut, whilst the reversal for the hangman includes a pin combination as your opponent reverses it into a sunset flip powerbomb. Did you know that Mustafa Ali's light up mask is included in the creation suite? When 2K first showed off Mustafa Ali in WWE 2K19, a lot of people were disappointed to see that he didn't have his light up mask included for his entrance. However, Editing Guy reveals that the mask is actually included in the game, as it can be found in Create a Superstar, where it's listed under face covers. The interesting thing about this is that the mask isn't just a regular piece of clothing, as should you apply the mask to Mustafa Ali and view his entrance, then you'll see that the mask actually lights up like it does on TV, therefore it's odd to see why he wasn't given the mask by default.
Ali's dedicated his life to breaking barriers, challenging stereotypes, and he's continuing to carve out his niche in WWE.
A very motivated young superstar. He says he treats every match like it's a fight for his life.
Did you know that Bianca Belair's hair whip is included in the Titans DLC pack? When Bianca Belair was announced for WWE 2K19, one of the first things people talked about was the possibility of using her unique hair whip as a move. However, to everyone's disappointment, there was no hair whip move assigned in her moveset. Now though, alongside the new Titans DLC pack, 2K have thrown in an extra piece of content, as should you head in to create a moveset and check out the downloaded Strong Strike options, then you can see that 2K have included this new hair whip for Bianca.
What a brutal beating we've seen dished out so far here tonight.
This new move isn't assigned by default, therefore you will have to assign it manually and create a moveset. However, the good news is that the move is available to use with all superstars regardless of whether or not they have hair. Did you know it's possible to equip entrance-only attire parts to in-ring attires? When it comes to create a superstar, one of the most annoying things is the limitations placed on certain clothing such as helmets, capes and outfits, which stop players from using them on in-ring attires and instead only allow them to be used during entrances. Luckily though, Byron Knight reveals that there is a way around this that will allow players to use the entrance-only parts on in-ring attires using the same glitch that I covered last year. To do this, what you want to do is create a new superstar or an alternate attire and then select the second attire's in-ring attire and change the attire type option from superstar to manager. Doing this will allow you to select any of the clothing options regardless of if they're entrance only parts or not. Therefore, what you want to do is create the in-ring attire that you want to use and add any entrance only parts. Once you've finished and you're happy with your attire, press accept to save the changes and go back to this screen. At this point, what you want to do is choose to edit your new in-ring attire and change the attire type option from manager back to superstar. Upon doing this, you'll be greeted with this prompt notifying you that the entrance only parts can't be used, so select yes to acknowledge the message and then press the cancel button, which will see this message appear noting that your changes won't be saved, where you'll want to choose yes. Once you do this, you should find that the entrance only parts are actually still in place, meaning you can now save your creation and use it, allowing you to use the entrance only parts in matches which previously wasn't possible. Did you know it's possible to have mid-match run-ins during cage matches? Last year in WWE 2K18, 2K expanded on the ability to perform entrance run-ins by adding the option to have superstars run in mid-match and attack an opponent or cause a distraction. However, this option was only available in regular matches. This year though, 2K have expanded the available match types that run-ins are available in, as should you play a cage match, then you can occasionally see superstars run in to try and stop you escaping the cage, which leads to this brand new cutscene.
Jey Uso with a great offensive show.
Following the cutscene, this leaves both players on top of the cage duking it out, which if you're successful and come out on top, then you'll send your opponent crashing down to the floor outside. Did you know that there is a special Avalanche version of the Batista bomb that can be performed as a reversal? Over the history of the Did You Know series, we've covered various top rope Avalanche moves that were included in the game as reversals despite not being selectable, with 2K then going on to add some of these moves such as the Avalanche Attitude Adjustment as assignable moves. However, this year, despite not being included in Create a Moveset, Ayatollah of Know Your Roller reveals that there is also another new Avalanche move included that can only be performed as a reversal with this new Avalanche version of the Batista bomb.
Batista bomb. He wants to end this right here.
Incredible!
This top rope version of the move occurs when using the major reversal to the Avalanche Hurricane Rana 2, however the move isn't specific to Batista and instead works for all superstars. Did you know it's possible to perform regular moves and finishes onto the steel steps? When it comes to using the steel steps, you'll probably already be aware of how trying to perform moves onto them causes the steps to awkwardly move out of the way upon impact. However, as like last year, it's actually possible to stop the steps from moving, allowing players the ability to perform moves directly onto them. To do this, what you want to do is choose an arena that has 2 announce tables at ringside, such as WrestleMania 34, then leave the ring and remove the padding from both tables. For the next step, you're going to need 2 stored finishers, therefore you can either gain these during the match or use Match Creator to have these available from the start. Once you have them, the next step is to put your opponent through the lower announce table by holding R1 on PlayStation or RB on Xbox and then pressing the finisher button to perform an announce table finisher.
Up, Falcon Arrow!
Once you do this, the next step is to go ahead and grab the steel steps and then place them down next to the remaining announce table and run into them so that they are then pushed underneath. Once the steps are under the table, grab your opponent and place them against the announce table, then perform another announce table finisher in order to break the table whilst the steps are underneath.
Get out from there, not up there! You gotta be kidding me! Please, Falcon Arrow through the table!
After doing this, should you walk up to the steps, then you should find that you can now climb up onto them with the steps no longer moving out of the way when performing moves, which allows you to perform some devastating looking finishes right on top of them. So there you go, that was 10 of the best did you knows in WWE 2K19. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I would love it if you could drop a like to show your support, as well as leaving a comment below to let me know what you made of today's features and if there's any other secrets, hints or Easter eggs that you think I should cover. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Did You Know episodes and smack that bell notification icon so that you can be notified the second a new video drops. Until next time though, all that's left for me to say is I hope you've enjoyed this video, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.